This video is part of the Better Golf at Home series. This series within the Better Golf at Home series has to do with learning to stop hitting behind the golf ball. In part 3, I'll offer some helpful training aids as well as drills to help you hone your ability to strike the ball better. Okay, with any of the training aids that we're going to talk about, I would suggest that you start small. You learn where your pressure needs to be by the time you're striking the ball, and you make good contact. And you learn to do that over and over and over before you push too much to make a larger swing. And what I mean by that is just the length of your swing. We're going to start with one of my favorite devices. It's called the Golf in Sync Swing Trainer. So I'm just going to go latch that onto myself real quick. The first thing that you do is you put the cuff around your left arm or your lead arm. If you're a right-handed golfer, you put it on your left arm. If you're a left-handed golfer, you put it on your right arm. You just strap it around there. There's a little eyelet that we're going to utilize that's on the inside of your bicep. Okay, and then there's a little wing nut that you attach to your golf club about halfway up the club shaft. And it's basically an alignment stick that's attached. It can pivot from that point. And so what we're going to do is thread this through the eyelet here under the bicep. And this device does a few things for me. The first is you're going to get a pretty intuitive sense of connection, because I can't flip my wrists too far before I'm met with resistance from this stick that's tucked under my arm. It's going to kind of bump into my forearm here. It's going to pinch my bicep, and behind me it's also hitting me in the back. So it's pretty obvious right away that I've got a little movement in my wrists here. I can do a little bit, but at a certain point I'm going to get jammed up and stuck. So that's going to promote a little bit more of this triangle movement and the idea of rotating the body, letting the chest and the arms continue past the golf ball. These are themes that I want to see in a good golf swing. The arms and the chest really moving together, and it's all driven by the legs. Start by just making swings, because the first time you pick this up, if you have any kind of flip, we're just going to need to get used to it. At first you might flip, oh, I'm met with a little resistance. Okay, well, I got to calm my hands down. I got to calm my wrists down a little bit. Okay, good. Now I'm starting to feel it. Now I'm moving my chest and my hands and my golf club all together. Now this might take days of practice, and that's okay. Just at that stage, just strapping this on and making swings. This is perfect for practicing at home. You can just do 20, 25 of these, then set the club down and go about your day. You could do that first thing in the morning, last thing at night. And if you did that 25 times for 5 days in a row, I know you would get better at this. And if you did that 25 times a day, morning and night for 3 weeks, you'd darn near have yourself a habit built. But before we even start hitting golf balls, let's do a little old school range drill here, the old towel drill. So you just fold up a golf towel, you lay it down on the ground. We'll give the golf ball about 6 inches in front of that towel. You go as short and as slow as you need to avoid hitting the towel, okay? So if I find myself back here grazing the towel, then I'm not quite there yet. And there's 2 things that you can do to hit the towel. One is flip your wrists, and I can come back here and hit the towel. 2 is don't shift your weight or don't shift your pressure over to the left side. And the whole idea is I'm not even going to hit the ball. I'm just going to learn to scrape the ground. See, I caught the towel on the first one, so it gives me feedback if my low point is not getting far enough forward. And so not only does the training aid kind of help me with that, but the reason that we're going to start with no golf ball is that we need to digest what you're actually doing. We need to go slow enough, and we need to think enough to coordinate all of this. We don't need to be worrying about what the golf ball does just yet. If you start mixing a golf ball in with this, there's a great chance that you're going to have trouble focusing on what you're doing. Okay, so once I get the hang of it and I'm able to brush the ground and I'm able to control that low point, and I'm able to control my arms moving more or less with my body, then all of a sudden I'm ready for the golf ball. And we're gonna leave the towel there, we're gonna leave the device, and we're just gonna make some soft swings. I can see there's some pressure shifting into the left leg. That shaft is sure leaning forward. I know because I hit it that that one was pretty solid. I didn't hit the ground before the golf ball. And there's that triangle we're talking about. Okay, and I kind of finish with that triangle still intact, which is important to me. You'll notice that I only swung the club just a little bit below my waist. Right? That's so that I can learn to control this. The better I get, the longer I can make my swing. We're going to go a little bit longer here. And now I'm going to take the club a little above my waist to the point where my left arm is parallel to the ground. And I'm going to swing that left arm parallel to the ground. Then I'm going to bring the triangle through, try to brush the ground. And kind of shift over there toward the golf ball. Okay, got that one pretty solid. And you'll see about the same thing. Left arm parallel to the ground, missed the towel, shifted the weight, triangle is there. We see that the low point, 4.5 inches after the golf ball. And we see the smash factor is 1.35. Let's talk about what else this can really do for us. It's important that the club swings away on plane. So I won't go into an in-depth explanation other than to tell you, you do not want to take the club away way under this line, rolling your forearms way inside. You want to get the club to travel closer to that yellow line. And what this training aid can help you do is have an idea of where that club shaft is at the top of the swing. So look, if I roll it way under and I'm very flat, which is a move that a lot of golfers learn to do, I can see this white stick pointing way out in front of me. It's pointed straight at the wall in front of me. And the resulting action from there is almost always to come over the top, and that's the kiss of death in terms of hitting the ball anywhere long, in terms of drawing the ball, in terms of hitting the ball solidly a lot of the times, and controlling the curve of the ball. So there's a lot that we want to avoid. My imagined line between the golf ball and the target. So if I lay a stick down here out in front of the target, that's a decent reference. And that's a pretty good reference for when I get to 3/4, I want this stick pointed at that line. And we take it right up that yellow stick into this position where I've got my club shaft a little more vertical here. It's close to parallel to that primary yellow swing plane line that I've drawn on the screen. I can also see that, so if you can get your club to a good position at 3/4, a lot of good things fall into place on the downswing. All right, so we're basically just taking it up to 3/4 and paying attention to where that club is pointed. And just like we did before, we're going to make practice swings at first until we get familiar with where we are. Hitting the golf ball doesn't necessarily help us pay attention to what we're trying to do and the habit that we're trying to build, okay? But eventually you will have built that habit. It's the same number I said earlier, 25 swings in the morning, 25 swings at night, no golf ball whatsoever, and I guarantee you 3-4 weeks go by and you will have built yourself a habit. That's not to say that you can't use it any sooner than that or hit balls any sooner than that, but I would definitely dedicate 25 or so swings, just practice swings, to get you familiar with it. Then you can get to the point where you're starting to feel like you know that you're there with confidence. Then you can go ahead and hit the golf ball. I'll put a link in the description to this Golf in Sync training aid. It's one of my favorites. It's a little cumbersome. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Tin Cup, but I feel a little bit like him when I pull this out. However, it's effective. It certainly makes you feel what I'm asking you to feel. And since I can't jump through the video camera and put my hands on your club and move you to the position that I want you to be in, this is the next best option. I'm going to show you some alternatives. There's definitely more than one way to skin a cat. This is a Tour Striker Smart Ball, and it trains connection as well, that link between your chest and your arms and the triangle we've talked about. You can just put it right between your forearms, and you can learn to swing the club without dropping it. You just keep that pressure on the ball, and that keeps you connected. Now, this still gives you a little freedom in the wrists, and people who are particularly handsy, I still see are able to get handsy with a Tour Striker Smart Ball, feel the sequence. And by the sequence, I mean that we're going to shift over to that left leg first and then turn the body through. Okay? So we're just making small swings, shifting and turning through, keeping the arms connected. As you succeed more, I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 is what you're looking for. You want to be able to strike that ball solidly before you move on. And now let's move it to about left arm parallel to arms parallel to the ground again. And we're just going to hit some shots where we're trying to hold that finish, trying to finish in balance, feel that connection, feel how your body can support you, the chest can support the arms, and the arms are supposed to stay extended. And that's the idea of all these training aids that we're talking about. That we didn't flip, that we didn't break down and drop the ball. And those things are going to help you ensure solid contact. Okay? I've got another one for you in case you don't like the Tour Striker Smart Ball. This is Callaway's Chipsticks. Okay, so this just attaches to the end of your club. This is very easy to put on. Boom, we're done. Okay, and you're going to see that it just points to the left of my body, or to the lead side of my body, and it helps me learn that I don't want to flip my wrists. If I do, I'm going to get bruised ribs from this stick just bumping me in the left ribs all the time, and it may even come off the club. Okay, so now the only thing I don't like about this one is it leans the shaft a little bit forward at address. And we don't want that to be a long-term habit for it to be excessively forward, but it still does the trick. And the idea is I move without it hitting me in the left ribs. Okay, and if I can do that versus getting through impact and feeling it smack me in the left ribs, that's the point of the training aid. Okay, and I'd say I can still make a swing that goes about to 3/4 as well, left arm parallel to the ground, and still hit a ball. That one smacked me a little bit because I tried to hit it a bit too hard. So this is a good option as well. Before anybody really came out with any of those training aids, we used to use alignment sticks. Okay, so that's just pinching an alignment stick up against the edge of your club, and you become just as aware. The only difference is I can feel the alignment stick here in my fingers, and it kind of messes with my grip a bit, but that's no big deal at all. I can still hit shots and try to avoid hitting my left side, which helps me avoid the flip, and it incentivizes me to turn my body, turn my chest, keep my arms in the club all working together as one. And I can just hit some soft little shots like that. And it's certainly going to help with my low point and with my smash factor. Let's do another one with the towel. An oldie but a goodie. You just put the towel across your chest and up under your front arms. And what I'm really trying to do is feel a connection between my upper bicep and my chest. And I really want to keep that side by side. I want to keep that connection, and I don't want to drop the towel. Now, does that mean that I have to glue my elbows to my ribs and swing like a T-Rex? Absolutely not. I can still be connected. I can get a little separation there between my triceps and my ribs, and yet have connection up here between my biceps and my chest, and still hold that towel and still get the desired effect of this drill. When you first try to do this and when you're first swinging, it's going to be very easy for you to want to just let those arms swing and drop the towel, either on the backswing, but especially on the follow through. Again, I'm just going to try to hit some short at first. Just hang on to that towel until I start to get the hang of the contact. Essentially what I feel when I'm not hitting it solid is that my legs, my waist needs to move this triangle through impact. And I'd say that's about as long of a swing as I can make, where I'm just a little beyond left arm parallel with this drill and still hold that towel intact. So I think that's another good one where you wouldn't have to go out and buy a training aid. This is a pretty standard golf towel. This is somewhere between a hand towel and a bath towel if you wanted to use something from home. So I thank you for your question. I thank you for viewing this, you guys. I appreciate you supporting the channel, and I hope this is helpful to you. If there's something that you'd like to see a video made on, why don't you leave a comment in the section below, and I can certainly help you with that. Go ahead and let me know what you thought of this video. I'd love to hear your comments and feedback as well. Again, there's so much good content out there. I appreciate you taking your valuable time to watch my content, and to support this channel means a lot to me. So thank you for that.
Make sure that you watched all 3 videos in this series to make sure that you can stop hitting behind the ball. A link to the playlist should start to appear on your screen right about now. As always, I appreciate you taking your valuable time to watch my content. I hope this was helpful to you. Feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe with notifications so you don't miss any videos coming out soon. Take care.